Hey guys, it's Paul. I want to give you as quick as I can a introduction to SocialBlade's business API. So up the top here, you always see this API. I'm going to talk you through how to use it, how to pull data, because obviously anybody who's been to SocialBlade, you might pull up. Let's do this actual channel you're looking at now, right? Paul Nicholson training. You see the data. And say you're one of my competitors, or say that you're looking for one of your competitors. You want to take this data and you want to put it in a spreadsheet, or you want to analyze it a bit deeper, or you want to do something to pull that data every day and put it in a chart. This channel versus this channel. Maybe you're a reporter or something. In fact, why don't you pause me now? Tell me why you're watching this, and I will answer as best I can. And I will also, if you go to pnuk.com/socialblade, I will put a training course together and a certification. If you watch this video, you can get a certification for watching it. So maybe your boss has sent you here, or you're trying to apply for a new job. pnuk.com/socialblade. That is where training on how to do a little bit more in depth will be. But this video will give you a very good starter of understanding what the API can do. Cool. Okay, so let's dive in and let's just talk about the API pricing and what it's going to do. But first, if you're looking to debunk somebody, or you're trying to prove they buy subscribers or buy views, be careful on SocialBlade or via SocialBlade stats, because what happens if we go to detailed, SocialBlade haven't been to my channel every day and got the stats on my YouTube channel. They have just been today, and then they look at the last time somebody went to this page. So what happens on SocialBlade is every time somebody goes to your page, it calls the YouTube API and grabs the data for that day. It doesn't have access to your history inside your analytics. What it's done is it builds, say, obviously someone's been to there today, so this is live because I've just called it, but nobody might have been to my page for a month. So what it does a month ago or 2 months ago, it aggregates the score between. It isn't a live historical YouTube data. It's a database called from 2 different times, and then it aggregates in between. It fills in the gaps. Look, everything's going to be, unless it specifically knows. It's don't hang yourself out to dry on SocialBlade data. It is, I would think, pretty accurate, but just be careful, right? So, business API, if you're logged in, if you signed up for Zoho, I do a lot of Zoho videos, SocialBlade, you will come up and you'll probably have here credit 0. So you have to buy credits. Every time you buy a credit, every time you call the API, you ask for the data, you use a credit. Now that API is good for 30 days, and then you have to pay the credit again. So say we're going to look for my stats, and I want to call the API every day on my stats. Now it won't charge me a credit every day. It'll charge me 1 credit for day 1, and then that is good for 30 days. Well, I'm going to go through it. I'll explain it more. Right, so in your dashboard, you can see all your previous days. I've just been playing around. The documents on how to do it, which we're going to go through. Information on what you can call. In this video, we'll concentrate on YouTube, but you can do Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, DLive, Story, Dailymotion, Trovo, Facebook, and Instagram. And obviously, you have to provide some filters so that you can say, I want this user's channel, and how much history you want. In YouTube, it only goes back 3 years. I think on nearly all the other platforms, it gives you complete historical data. But you will see, if you wanted 30 days of 30 days of data, it's 1 credit. If you want two credits up to a year's worth. Oh yeah, right. So it's a year of data. 3 credits for 3 years, 5 credits for 10, not for YouTube, right? So the more history you ask for, you can get 30 days for a credit. The more you ask for, the more it will cost. They also have the rankings. I'm not sure if you can filter this other than the SocialBlade rank that it gives people. I can't see the filter. There may be a filter say most subscribers, most views, but I think it's got their own ranking system. One page for the top 100 on whatever platform is 10 credits, so it's going to cost. I'm going to get to that. The next page is 9 credits, or the next 4 pages. The next 4 pages after that is 8 credits. So more and more data you ask for, the more it will cost in credits, right? So if we go down to payments, we're going to see how much credits cost. So I'm on this starter, and the minimum amount you can add is what I paid, $52.80. You're paying 50 cents a credit. All the way up until 5,000. It doesn't actually get any cheaper until you get 5,000 credits. But obviously it's going to cost you $1,300. So 50 cents. If you're in this small business market and you want 10,000 credits, it's going to cost 20 cents. And then enterprise, crazy amount. If you've got a spare 47 grand going, it's going to cost 9 cents a credit. Obviously, I started, I was just playing around. I am on the starter. I've dropped in $50 and I have 100 credits. I have used 14 of them playing around. And next, we're going to get into exactly, let's pull some data and show you what it can do, right? There's analytics and some settings. It'll tell you how many you've used in the past. It'll show you where the calls are, what you've called. So I've called a YouTube channel for data, and I've called the SocialBlade YouTube channel ranking for the top 100 YouTube channels. And again, I haven't deeply looked into it. If you can filter it by subscriber count, you must be able to. But it gave me the top 100 SocialBlade rank. It's not exactly what I wanted, so it's not really, that didn't really work for me. But let's get into it. Right, so let's get my data and let's have a bit of a tinker and a play with my data. So what we're going to do is go to the docs and find here user statistics. And this is the information that we need to call the API. So basically what it is, it's a URL string that asks for the data. Now, you fill in your client ID and your token, and then we're also going to ask for the specific user. So what you first want to do is you can test it on SocialBlade. So if you call the SocialBlade stat here, it doesn't cost you a credit. So you can make sure that your information's working first by using the default SocialBlade, right? So I believe if you go statistic, right? Let's try this out. So what the root of this is, we need to call this, right? So we're going to talk about YouTube in this video, but if it was going to be Instagram, does it fill it in up there? It doesn't change it, does it? So basically what you need is this string for a user's information. What we're going to type in for platform is obviously YouTube, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. Now I use a program called Postman to call APIs. It's free to use. If you Google it, what is it? I think it's postman.io. Is it postman.io? Postman. Let's go Postman API. I don't know, but it's just postman.com, right? You can download it here. It's 100% free to use. And this is where we're going to... This platform, you can actually do it straight from the website. But this platform is what I'm going to test the API on, right, before I use it anywhere else. So I'm going to add a connection. I'm going to call the new folder, let's call it SocialBlade. Add a request, right? So now it's a GET request. We're going to put Paul Nicholson training YouTube stats. That's my request. That's what this one's going to be called. So now we know this is a GET request, which is, if we go back to here, we know here, we can see here it's a GET request. We want it to be a GET. So go get the data. In fact, if you're doing it on YouTube, you can just copy this, right? So if I put that in, YouTube certificate and send, false. It's failed because I haven't put in any header information that it wants. So I need to add a query of information. I usually just put it in here. It's probably the wrong place to put it, but so what I need is to put client ID, a token, and well, eventually it will be a query of the channel, but at the moment we don't need it because it'll just do SocialBlade's channel. And then how much in history do we want? So first thing I'm going to do is client ID. So you would really do it in headers, but I'm just going to do it in here. Client ID. And I need to get my client ID, right? So here we go. I'm going to show you it because I'm not really going to use SocialBlade. And if somebody steals it, so be it, right? Just make sure you haven't got any returns. Did you see then? There was a couple of enters. Just make sure it's just the client ID. Right, and now I'm going to go back and get my token. I'll change this. Oh, I've just changed it. Show the token. So all the ones I've had before won't work, but it doesn't really matter. Is it just token? So go back to. So we're going to go back here, and it says, look, token. Token is that. I'm not sure if it's case sensitive. Let's go. Let's just go back to the documents, the user stats. Token, yeah, it's probably lowercase, right? Token history is default. And send, is that going to let us in? Query not found, so we do need a query. So we can put in query, and we'll just put SocialBlade, right? I don't think that charges us. I'm not sure that'll work. Oh yeah, there it works, so right. Yeah, so you'll see there I'm pointing at the screen, that doesn't help. Here, 86 credits. You'll see here available 86. So when we've put in our details and tested it, it hasn't charged us. It means our token works, it means our client ID works. And we have got views, information, and the data. Inside Postman, the data is a little bit harder to decipher, but this is what we were looking for, right? 21st of October, subs and views. 22nd, subs and views. 23rd, right? So that's the data we're after, subs and views. So we want mine, though. We want Paul Nicholson training. So the query on this one is we're looking for Paul Nicholson training, but you need to get the channel ID. So what you can do is go. Oh, in fact, on my main channel, the channel ID is already there. Or you can Google and go to. You'll find this website where you can put in. Continue. You can put in the channel URL and it will give you it, or you can look at the source code. If you need me to do a separate video on finding a channel ID, I can. But you would basically just, my channel ID is already there. But you would put it in here, put the URL in, and the channel ID will show up. So we're going to grab this, and this time, let's just go back here. In the query, we're going to drop my channel ID in. Right, and then we're going to send that. And you'll see 86 credits. This has now gone to 85. And it expires the 19th of December. We've got 30 days. We can run this API as many times as we want for 30 days, right? So now, GB, educational channel, United Kingdom. You'll be able to see my avatar. Oh, I don't click on it. Don't click on my avatar. Twitter. Oh, that's right, actually. I'm not sure where he gets that from. I ain't got Instagram. 710 uploads, subscribers 12,700, views 2.9 million. Growth, stats, view stats, and down the bottom, the history. So we have connected to my data. Now, I'll come back. Should I come back, or do you need me to? Should I do it now? I'll come back as we add more history. So this is just 30 days worth of data. The next, what I'll show you, we've got the API working. Now I'll show you sort of a practical use of getting it into a spreadsheet. Right, so let's get that information into a spreadsheet. So we've got, say, Google Sheets. We want to do a new Google Sheet. And what you can, if you Google search it, I'll put a link. If you go to pnuk.com/socialblade, I will put a link to this API connector. It's a Chrome extension that's free to use. Well, it's free for a certain amount. I think it's about 250 calls a month. And then I think because I do a few more, I pay about $12 a month for it. But it's really easy to use. You just install it. And then when you go to add-ons, you're going to get this API connector. And I'm going to open it. Add a new API. And in that API URL path, all I'm going to do is go back to my Postman. And what you'll see is we first started off by just posting this information, didn't we? But it's automatically populated everything else we need. So if I copy this and paste it, I don't need to mess with anything else other than this. Where do I want it to land? So I want it to land at A1. So I'm going to set the current sheet so I can pick where I want it to land. And I'm going to call it Paul Training Stats. Save it. And if I run that, it will find that information. And here we are. So this is the API that is just pulled from SocialBlade. Again, my credits haven't gone down because I can use this for a month without losing any. Channel username, channel name displayed. Obviously, make it bigger if it's a bit longer. This is the created date when I started, 2015. Information on now. I think that'll open my ugly mug. My banner image is here. So basically all the information that's been pulled into this website is now in a spreadsheet. And when you come all the way down the bottom, you will see here we have 30 days. So 31, we have 30 days of data. So today, my stats and what they were 30 days ago. So now we have it in a spreadsheet. Obviously, there's lots of things we can do with it moving forward, but we've pulled it into a spreadsheet. There's a plugin, I think, for Excel, and there's multiple places where you're going to want to use APIs, but this is just a really easy example. Now, we've got 30 days, but I want more data. So we're going to run the query back in the API to give us more data. We want 3 years of data. We want as much data as we possibly can on this guy. So I come back to the sample and you see down the bottom, history. In fact, if you type in history vault in YouTube, with YouTube, it would just credit archive. But I'm going to put archive in. So you will see it's going to cost 3 credits. If I refresh this, we're down to 85. So it's going to cost another, it's going to cost, this is actually a good, I don't actually know if this is going to cost another 2 credits or 3. Well, let's see. So I'm going to put in archive. In the history, I'm going to change it from default to archive. So will it charge us 3 extra or will it just be 3 total? So I send it and we're down to 82. So it did charge 3 more, didn't it? So it's basically cost me $2 a month for 3 years of my data. So now when I go back to here, history here is changed. Now I could just copy and paste. In fact, I will. It's the easiest thing because you know this one works. Oh, we can go here. We can go here. You could, in theory, have just put the data in here, right? But I like to test it in Postman because it gives you that instant report. So you can do it in here as well. Save. And this time, so we're at 31. We're going to get all the way down to like 900, aren't we? Let's run it. And we are now we have got all the way back to, go on. Oh, crap. The 2nd of July, 2018. That's a kind of a random number, isn't it? It may be down to something with whether nobody checked that. 18, 19. So it's like it's over 3 years data, that, isn't it? Is that 3 years in a month? No. Anyway, so now we have over 3 years of data. Let's do let's sort of play around and show you an idea of what you can do with it. Again, won't cost you anything for this. If you're doing some sort of presentation, this is a really cool way of doing it, right? Right, so what I'm going to show you is how to do a line graph race chart from that data. And I use Flourish.studio, free to use again. I'm going to sign in. I'm already signed in. I've got a few I could change, but I'm just going to do a new visualization. If I come down here, there's these line chart races. You've seen the ones, you've seen the bar chart races, all that stuff you can do using this. But I'm going to use this simple line chart race. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to track my views in time over the history of my channel, right? So it's going to run across. Cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete all this. I don't need it, right? So, but what happens is you need the data in horizontal data, not vertical data. So what we need to do is we need to tinker with this data a little bit. I'm going to add a sheet here. And I'm going to I want the earliest date at the top. So I'm just going to sort I'm going to sort the data, sort the range. What is it? Daily. Yes, the top is a header. Daily date. Data.daily date A to Z, right? That should give me the oldest first. And what should we do? Let's do. Well, let's just take it all and we can decide, can't we? So if I copy this now, if I copy it into this new sheet, but if I right click, because we've got to flip the data, and you can do it within Flourish Studio, but you might want to do it here. Go paste special, paste transposed, and that will flip it to horizontal data. And now all I've got to do is copy this. And in fact, let's do it both and I'll delete it as I go. Into this data, right? So column A is the label, column B is the value. That is perfect. If I paste this in here, I've just pasted it now. The date of the top is here, and I might want to change this to channel, change this to subscribers. This is views. And now my final, this is the values, B all the way. It's about APE, so there's loads of it in there. Oh, come on. Come on. Oh yeah, there's a lot of data. And it's just, I'm just showing you free ways of like showing your data. Like if you've got to put a presentation together for, I don't know, a sponsorship deal. This is a cool way of doing it, right? So we're going to go, the values of the data is from B to APD. So if I go here, color, I'm not too worried about. Let's go back. Let's go back here. Let's just insert. And let's go image. If I go back to, have I got my SocialBlade start open still? In fact, just go here, look. Copy link address of your profile. You can drop that in there, drop that in there. And the image is in B. This is now C to APD. Are we happy? I'm not sure that's taken, but it's quite a lot of data. If we replay it, how are we going to go? Come on. It hasn't quite taken it yet, but let's just go pause stats. Again, I will do full training on how to do all this. And this is a sketchy diving through it, but ways to use your data, right? So let me just refresh this. Yes. Changes won't be saved. I think it's happy, but it's just not quite uploading. You see, what would happen when it loads properly is this purple data would go all the way across. Have we saved it? Do we think we've saved it? Oh, I don't know. Let's just try. Sometimes, yeah, here we go. Look. So here's our our stats. Because it's 3 years, we can speed that up. Let's go here, 300. Let's go here. I don't know if 10. We might even want to go less here. Oh yes, there's lots of data. Oh, make it go faster, right? So now we can see, it didn't take, my image is not there, is it? Oh yeah, it didn't work, look. Right, so let's just put that. Insert left, image, post in the old Moggin shot, put your images in B, preview. Well, that didn't work either, did it? But it would show your picture. It showed your face. In fact, well, this one, let's have a look. Let's copy image address. Let's try this. I'm now just interested if I get working. Yeah. Oh, yeah, because it, look, that's, yeah, I need like an IRG. Yeah, that's the weird link. See how this one's studio? That's my internal link. Now, if I go here, there's my noggin. And you can see, and you'll be able to play around with it, delete data you want, delete what you don't want. Obviously, the bottom one's not going to move much because the top one is going to fly. Yeah, let's just make it. Does that make it? It's a little bit fast. I don't know why I've changed it to 2. It's not going to be much slower, is it? Yeah, that's like, 10 was really slow though, wasn't it? So you can see your data trail over a certain amount of years because we've pulled that through. And you imagine if you've got competitors, go get their data. All you've got to do with their data is put it in the next row below. Put it in, type in your competitors, you know, or whatever it might be, and you will have. In fact, I've got. Here we go. The YouTubers over 100,000 subscribers. If you do it in ranking, you would see. So if you do scores, you would see that same thing. These are all YouTubers, golf YouTubers with over 100,000 subscribers. All free to use on Flourish data. And wherever you pull that data from, you might want to do bar charts, you know, bar races. Bar races? Everybody likes a bar race. Same thing, get your data. You know, you've seen this sort of bar races when you pull all that data. So, SocialBlade. Shall I let that run? I'll let that run to the end as Rick Shields takes off like a rocket. And the rest, everything in red's America. The American golf channels are coming back at the Brits. So, I sort of went off on a tangent there, but just giving you ideas on once you've got the data, you might be Excel wizards and can do all that inside Excel. But once you've got this data, your token is good for, you will see, right? Oh, I've changed the data around, haven't I? In fact, if you run it again, it'll just reset it. So let's just run it again. And another thing you could do with this connector is run this API every day, look. So I might go pull training request, run this every morning between 2 and 3 a.m. Pull training. And that would automatically pull the data every morning. It would just run that API request. I think you can do it every week or every month. Yeah, you can't do it any more than every day. Yeah. I was thinking I had one API call in every hour, but maybe I don't. That's probably why it doesn't update that much. But anyway, yeah, you could in theory on this free tool call your API every day. But if we go back here and run it, action stations, we run it again, it'll just reset that sheet back to as we were before. So what I'm saying is your expiry of that token. So you see we've run it again, and no, it hasn't taken any of our credits away. Here is when it runs out. So back when we get back to that, if we want to do the same API request on the 20th of December, it would take another 4 tokens away. But really cool, really good information. I'm a bit of a data geek, and I like how data generally doesn't lie. But as I say, with SocialBlade stats, if you're looking to debunk somebody or try to hang your reputation on it, I'd just be a little bit wary of SocialBlade stats without finding out a little bit more, because it's an aggregated total. It's not an everyday data. But what will happen, I think, because you're calling your channel or that channel every day, that would be accurate because it calls every day, rather than calling it once a week ago and then once today, and then it would fill the graph data in between the two stats, rather than it doesn't know. What I'm saying is it does not access internal API information, data information. It is just the information it is pulled on the day. So really, all the information a YouTube API calls... Oh man, I'm off of the tangent again. So if I go to Golf YouTube, here's the top 50 golf YouTubers. If you call it direct from YouTube, this is what the SocialBlade does. Every time you ask it to, it asks YouTube for this information. And all YouTube provides on their API is this information here, these stats. It only says on a daily basis change how many views you've had, how many subscribers you've had, and how many videos you've created. It doesn't share your past history. SocialBlade doesn't have access to any company's past historical data. It's just what is pulled on the day that it is called. So they have their own database. What I'm saying is SocialBlade have their own database. It isn't a historical, identical thing. Obviously, you could do it with Instagram and stuff like that and data. I'm not going to waste my tokens on stuff like that, but if you want to do, like I said at the start of the video, and if you come to pnuk.com/SocialBlade, all training's free. There is a certification for watching this video. I will put a certification program up so you can show people that you've got a basic understanding of the API, of the business API in SocialBlade. But all training's free. Ask your questions. I can do you a video. I'm always looking for training videos to create. If specifically you need some information from that, I will do it for you. And, hopefully it helps you out. Right, I've waffled right on at the end of that video. Sorry for that. Thanks for watching. Drop a like if you liked it. Maybe consider subscribing. That would be awesome. See you all again soon. Drop your questions in below. I can't help you if you don't ask. Cheers.